Well. Vice President Kamala Harris is going to give her first public remarks after, I mean, she's now the de facto nominee of the Democratic Party. There was an anticipation that there would actually be some form of blitz primary. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. It looks like it's going to be bully pulpit, while you're at the White House, use this to campaign, Kamala Harris. And so we'll take a look at what Kamala has to say here. Note, we have not actually had remarks yet from Biden. Biden said he would give remarks later in the week, and we haven't had them yet. We can see folks are getting ready to, and they're standing here, so we must have Kamala getting ready to come on out. By the way, a lot of people get upset when I say Kamala. They're like, no, it's Harris. Say Harris. Okay, so here comes Kamala. And we'll see what she has to say. But this is obviously going to be a somewhat historic moment, given that you haven't seen this happen before in recent history here. There she is. All right, let's listen in and let's see what she has to say. Here we go.
Approaching there.
That's right. Here comes Vice President Kamala Harris. She will be briefly introduced before, of course, taking the microphone at this key moment. Again, the vice president set to head to Wilmington, Delaware, not too long from now, in order to speak with campaign staff. It's a moment you have to think these college students knew they'd be in the spotlight, given that they were coming to the White House. They probably did not think 48 hours ago that they'd end up broadcast live on national TV, given this moment here for Vice President Harris. I believe that Ryan Nobles is still with us as well. The question, of course, moving forward, Ryan, what are we going to hear from some of these top Democratic leaders?
Yeah, I'm curious to see if this is going to be like Trump bashing, or is this going to be unity? What is it going to be? But it feels like blitz primary feels over. And I want to be clear about why I say that. So Obama and Pelosi had considered via Politico a blitz primary. A blitz primary, they called it. And this would have been where Dems would have done a rapid face-off to see which Democrat pulled the best. And right now, it looks like the other potential contenders have all basically endorsed Kamala. So you've got Whitmer has officially endorsed Kamala. You've got Kamala Harris. You've got Newsom has. Mayor Pete has. And I think you've got the Clintons. I don't think you have the Obamas yet. Or Pelosi. So that's what we're kind of waiting on. I'm going to take a quick look here. It didn't look like Pelosi or the Obamas have endorsed her. We do think that's going to be what it takes to actually get to a unified party. But so far, nothing from Pelosi, and then on Obama, we don't have a statement yet either beyond what we had on Joe Biden. So, yeah. But Pelosi and Obama, they're not running. So everybody who was considered a contender has already endorsed Kamala. Whitmer, Mayor Pete, Clinton, Newsom. These were the potentials that we thought. So I'm pretty surprised that we don't actually have that. There we go. Potential VP picks now. Oh, Whitmer and Newsom are up there. Pete's up there. Oh, I don't know. Do they want to be VP? I guess we'll find out. Anyway, we're waiting for Kamala to speak here. Kamala Harris, you can see she's here. Here she comes. She's coming. Do not come.
Nobles, thank you. Let's listen in to Vice President Kamala Harris at the White House.
Thank you for all you do to support these extraordinary student athletes. And it is good to be here with so many leaders, including, of course, members of Congress, members of our administration, and our extraordinary athletes. Our president, Joe Biden, wanted to be here today. He is feeling much better and recovering fast, and he looks forward to getting back on the road. And I wanted to say a few words about our president. Joe Biden's legacy of accomplishment over the past 3 years is unmatched in modern history. In one term, he has already, yes, you may clap. In one term, he has already surpassed the legacy of most presidents who have served 2 terms in office. And I first came to know President Biden through his son, Beau. We worked together as attorneys general in our states, and back then, Beau would often tell me stories about his dad. He would talk about the kind of father and the kind of man that Joe Biden is. The qualities that Beau revered in his father are the same qualities that I have seen every day in our president. His honesty, his integrity, his commitment to his faith and his family, his big heart, and his love, deep love of our country. And I am firsthand witness that every day our President Joe Biden fights for the American people, and we are deeply, deeply grateful for his service to our nation. And so with that, on behalf of our President and Dr. Biden, I am honored to welcome all of you to the White House to celebrate the achievements of these great athletes. Every one of them is a national champion, a national champion. In America, tens of millions of people play a sport as a child, and the best of the best grow up to become national champions. Here today, we have 7 undefeated teams, 11 repeat champions, and 20 first.
You have been listening to Vice President Kamala Harris there on the South Lawn of the White House at an event meant to celebrate.
Don't rip her off. Give her the chance, would you? Good Lord. At least let me finish listening to what she's saying. Oh, that'll work. Fox News trying to cut away from her.
Some of you have represented our nation on the international stage in World Cups and World Championships. And later this month, 6 of you will represent our nation at the 2024 Olympics in Paris. As members of Team USA, you are ambassadors for our nation, and with pride, we will cheer you on. And we look forward to congratulating you when you bring home the gold. So to all of our athletes, I know it was not easy to make it to this moment. Each of you has faced challenges and obstacles, and you have endured. You have fought back and fought through. By doing so, you demonstrated that true greatness requires more than skill. It requires grit and determination. You all know what it means to commit and to persevere. And you know what it means to count on teammates. During the course of a long season, sports teams become a family. You rely on each other. You develop relationships that will last a lifetime. And you make the people around you better in every way. And when you play, you inspire people across our nation. You remind all of us what can be achieved with hard work and ambition. And of course, none of you made it here alone. Today, you are surrounded by the people who stood by you every step of this journey. The folks who support you on and off the field, your friends, your family members, your coaches, your trainers, and teachers who for years have cheered you on. So today, again, let us give them a round of applause.
Mike Bloomberg just mentioned Democrats have 4 weeks here to test Kamala Harris before the convention, so you could still have a blitz primary.
Congratulations again on all you have accomplished, and good luck on all that is to come. Wherever you all go from here, you will always, and know this, you will always be champions, and we will always be so proud of you. And so now it is my honor to welcome to the stage Jordan Dudley, who plays on the Florida State University women's soccer team and our U20 women's national team. Please welcome Jordan.
This better be a girl. Okay, thank you. I was so worried. Here's Jordan, a guy. Okay, all right. So I wanted to just listen to Harris here. So I'm going to catch up on. Let's catch up a little bit on how polls are moving here. They're going to do the same thing here. Let's listen to Wolf for a second.
To meet with campaign staff there on this, what they're describing, the first full day of her presidential campaign. That, according to updated guidance that we're just getting in from her office and a social media post on X, formerly known as Twitter right now. Kayla Tausche is our White House correspondent. Kayla, give us a sense of what's going on right now, what we should anticipate in the coming hours and the next few days.
Well, Vice President Harris has made it clear that she is going to seize the reins of this moment and of this campaign, traveling to Wilmington, as you just mentioned, later this afternoon to try to rally the troops for the 105 days to go, this home stretch of the campaign, where in the last 4 weeks, Harris and her party have become something of underdogs, to use a sports metaphor, as the vice president addresses this audience of athletes. She used these remarks to praise the leadership of President Biden and the accomplishments that he has notched in the last 3 years, and thanking him and the First Lady for the opportunity to be here at this event today. But using some broad language, talking about going for the gold, being a winner, and being supported by a team, it's hard not to sense the metaphors and some of the parallels in what she was saying as she embarks on this journey of her own to try to retake the narrative for the Democratic Party and trying to rally members of the party nationwide and to galvanize voters behind her candidacy, Wolf.
Very interesting. We'll see what happens when she's in Wilmington, Delaware. Maria Cardona, it jumps out at me, and I'm sure a lot of other people, she would be the first woman president of the United States if, in fact, she's elected.
Look at him remove the podium. That's it? That's all she's going to say? Are you kidding me? Yeah, look. There go the teleprompters. The presidential seal is gone. The podium's out. What a joke. That's it. That's all we got? Oh, come on. That's not fun. That's boring. They got to set up for the photo op now. That's lame. That's very lame. All right. Well, let's do a little bit of a news recap here of what we've had over the last period of time. There's been quite a bit here, so stand by for a moment while they do their little photo op. I'll get this ready. Okay, so let's do a quick summary of everything here. Mansion. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Summary of the latest. Oh, let me silence that. There we go. All right. Well, Kamala Harris speaking was very short and kind of boring. She introduced some athletes, which is great, but I was expecting a little bit more of a first speech from Harris. I have to say, I can clearly understand what she's saying. She's not mumbling. She could read the teleprompter fine. She can engage with the audience. She can ad-lib. Like, she's a functional human, so for that, I am grateful. Now, obviously, the question now is, are Democrats just going to slam Kamala Harris down the throats of Democratic voters without actually giving them a choice to select which candidate they want, since they basically rushed Biden through the public primaries, and now you're stuck with Biden's de facto handing of power to Kamala Harris? And so to this I had said, no, Democrats will hold a blitz primary. In fact, Pelosi and Obama, who have still not yet endorsed Kamala Harris, Pelosi and Obama want a blitz primary because they believe not having a blitz primary is going to alienate Democratic voters into thinking this is rigged. There's no room for choice here. There's no room for debate. This is disgusting. I guess we have no say at all. Pelosi and Obama made it very clear that they think you need a blitz primary. Well, what I've been watching is for the revving of engines from potential competitors in a blitz primary, like Whitmer, Buttigieg, Clinton, and Newsom, maybe even Joe Manchin. So what did we hear yesterday? Initially, no endorsement from Newsom, Clinton, Buttigieg, or Whitmer, or Manchin for Kamala Harris. Instead, we actually heard that Joe Manchin, that Virginia Democrat, who a lot of folks are like, oh, is he a Democrat? Do you remember? Remember, Democrats, when Biden got into power, Democrats had all three positions of power: the presidency, the Senate, and the House. And Joe Manchin was that Democrat who kept being that thorn in the side, along with Sinema, of Democrats, because he wouldn't just roll and go with whatever the Democrats wanted. So what he ended up with was losing that 50th vote that they really needed. You know, Kamala Harris was breaking the tie for the 51st to get a simple majority. And so Joe Manchin was rumored to potentially run against Kamala Harris for the VP ticket. However, just this morning, he comes out and says, just kidding, I'm actually retired. I'm not running for president. JK. What he probably did was sort of feel out to see if he can get any fundraising, and probably didn't get any fundraising. Apparently, since the Kamala Harris announcement, Kamala's gotten somewhere around $27 million in funding, at least via reporting of Act Blue. And mind you, most of the money the Biden camp raised in July was blown. Like, they were turning negative on fundraising. And initially, Biden actually hesitated on Harris's odds of winning. He didn't think Kamala Harris could win. But then polling started rolling over on Biden. And that's what started convincing him that, okay, well, maybe she doesn't have the best chance, but it's better than the chance that I got. So that's partially what led to, a flip-flop there from Biden. Now, something to consider, what else happened? After Manchin dropped, Newsom ended up endorsing Kamala Harris. Now, I have to say something about this, okay? This pissed me off. Look, I don't like Gavin Newsom at all. I think he's done horrible things for California, but I think he's better than Kamala Harris. That's my take, okay? My take was that Newsom would have been better than Harris. And then yesterday, out of nowhere, Newsom tweets, tough, fearless, tenacious. With our democracy at stake and future on the line, no one is better to prosecute the case against Donald Trump's dark vision and guide our country in a healthier direction than America's Vice President Kamala Harris. So in other words, he just endorsed Kamala Harris, to which, of course, I said, you're an effing idiot, and quote tweeted him. I'm going to like my own tweet because I think that's a pretty good one. Follow me on Twitter at RealMeKevin. By the way, I'm going to try to start posting stories more on Instagram. So if you want to follow me on Instagram as well, I'll try to have some more baby pictures. I know a lot of people have been asking me for more like clips from the babies and stuff. Follow me on Instagram at MeetKevin. That's an easy way to share stories. I'll right after this live stream, I'll find a child. I don't know if they're awake, but soon. Anyway, so Newsom basically drops out. Then what happens? Whitmer endorses Kamala Harris. Buttigieg endorses Kamala Harris. The Clintons endorse Kamala Harris. The only people who haven't endorsed Kamala Harris yet are Pelosi, Obama, and, some donors in the Democratic Party. Now, Pelosi and Obama, they're the ones who want a blitz primary. But that might not happen if we don't end up actually getting some form of competition, which it doesn't seem like we're getting right now. Maybe they'll put on like a fake show blitz primary and Kamala just destroys it. Michael Bloomberg had an interesting argument. He argues that Democrats now have 4 weeks to evaluate Kamala Harris and evaluate whether she's capable or not of actually being the presidential nominee. So we'll see. But, I mean, so far, you have the removal of the age argument, the, Hunter Biden nonsense. And I'm not trying to suggest that, what Hunter did is or isn't right or whatever. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, all of that doesn't matter anymore right now, right? Like, all of that's gone. The Hunter stuff is gone. The Biden, crime family arguments are gone. The Biden legacy stuff is gone. The Biden age stuff is gone. Now you actually have somebody who could speak. So I do think that's a good thing. I don't think it's the best choice for Democrats. I think Democrats should have had the opportunity to actually have a choice here But as is pretty typical in the Democratic Party, you're not allowed to have choice. The party will tell you what to think. So I do think that's quite frustrating. Remember also, a lot of folks inside the Democratic Party had no idea this resignation was happening yesterday. And they heard about it, frankly, moments before, if not even from X directly, that this flip was happening. So Democrats, from what I'm reading here from Punchbowl, you've got Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries asking Democrats to get on what's being called the Kamala train. FEC reports are already being filed so that she can collect donations as a presidential candidate. Harris obviously isn't a perfect candidate. Is she better than Biden? Duh. That's very, very obvious. I mean, anything is better than Biden at this point. And that doesn't mean I like Kamala Harris. I'm just saying. Now it's just going to be a matter of how the next 4 weeks go. Frankly, they might be a little boring. What I am interested in seeing is, obviously, a blitz primary would have been great. I don't know that we're going to get it. But what I do want to see is the debate between Kamala and Trump. And I actually think it probably has a chance of actually being a debate. You don't really have much of a shot of having a debate when you're competing against somebody who can't remember anything. I mean, I almost felt like, I think a lot of people actually agree with this. I feel like it was obvious that Trump was holding back on that one. Anyway, what was interesting is a coalition of former Nikki Haley supporters and her PAC have supported Harris. That's an interesting flip, especially since Nikki Haley was at the RNC speaking. Then you've got Elizabeth Warren, AOC. I mean, obviously, the further fringes of the Democratic Party are going to be very clear about supporting Kamala Harris. Whether all this support will actually make a difference, I have no idea. Tulsi, Gabbard's obviously, anti this. That's not a surprise. I mean, along party lines here. I think what is interesting is looking at the betting odds. If you look at the betting odds, you do have a narrowing of Trump's lead. It has moved down from about 67. If we go out on the 30-day, I think you can see it a little more clearly here. You had a high of about 69 for Donald Trump. 67, 69 was a high for Donald J. Trump. And that has gone down to about 60 cents here, so about a 60% chance. While at the same time, you've actually had this increasing of Kamala Harris odds, now as high as a 40% chance of becoming president. So as far as some policy, I know some folks have been asking about policy. Jeff Stein actually had a decent breakdown of some of her economic positions. So let's take a look at this. He argues way too early impressions on Harris economic policy. Very close with labor, so this would be like unions. Opted out of LA hotel in solidarity with workers' strike. Particularly allied with SEIU, Care Economy Advocates, Think Child Care, Elder Care, Home Care, part of Better Business Bureau priorities, has worked to cultivate ties with building ties with trades as well. Widely seen as at the White House as strongly backing student debt cancellation and initiatives on medical debt. Wouldn't expect her to walk away from those commitments of Biden. In line with Biden on proposed safety net expansions. So presumably your workers' compensation, obviously Medicaid, Medicare, or whatever. Medi-Cal is a big thing in California. It's California's versions of Medicaid. Poverty line supports, welfare supports, otherwise. On trade, criticized the Transatlantic Partnership, and NAFTA, was a rare member to vote against the Trump United States-Mexico-Canada alliance. Also said she's not a protectionist Democrat. Protectionist, by the way, would be, to some extent, what you're seeing with Trump, with a lot of talk about tariffs. Largely in line with Biden and the median Democrat otherwise on taxing billionaire, housing supply expansions, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't say what else. So, interesting. All right. So, yep, you're going to get this as well. There are a lot of folks who are like, hey, Kamala Harris is not a convicted felon or somebody who was found guilty of rape. These are things that are going to weigh on Trump. A lot of Trump supporters on this side say, look, I'm not voting on the character. I'm voting on what's best for the country. A lot of Democratic Kamala Harris supporters say, yes, that's what we're voting on. We're voting on what's best for the country, better character, presumably. Again, that's going to be something that people debate. But this is going to be, no doubt, this is going to be a closer race. It's clear that at least at the moment, Donald Trump is still well in the lead. But I think Trump has to be careful here not to let that lead narrow too much. And so finding out how to best strengthen his positions against Kamala Harris will be key. And then obviously Kamala Harris will have to figure out how to best strengthen her positions against Trump. But we're rapidly going to get to a narrowing here where you'll probably get to more of, I would guess going into the actual election, you'll probably be closer to a 54-46. And then it's going to come down to turnout in swing states. So the swing states are going to decide this election. If I go to the latest polling, Georgia, Trump leads by 5 points over Harris. In the general election, Trump leads by 3 points per a CBS poll. I'm just looking at really Trump-Harris here. Trump-Harris by Fox 13 Tampa. Trump leads by 10 points. Trump-Harris inside advantage in Arizona. Trump leads by 6 points. So he's got to make sure this lead doesn't get to his head. Nevada, Trump leads. I mean, this is all like a landslide for Trump over here. General election, Forbes, Harris. Oh, well, that was with Biden. It's a Harris poll. Anyway, so that's the latest on somebody here says Trump was not found guilty of rape. So what was the Jean Carroll then? So Jean Carroll, Trump, the defamation lawsuit, we know there was a guilty verdict here. We know that. Jury finds liable for sexual abuse. Okay, I guess it's the lower standard, right? Because she claimed there was rape. Okay, but he was found responsible for the lesser degree of sexual abuse. There you go. Okay. All right, it's a fair clarification. Fair clarification. That's thank you for that. So very interesting. Anyway, so yeah, this will be really interesting. It's certainly a lot closer now. It's no longer a slam dunk. Steve here, Commodity Steve here says 54-46 and the polls underestimate Trump. That could be true too. It could be true. It'll be interesting to see how the polls actually shake out. Good day trading today, by the way. We made some profit shorting the Qs, but we also made some money on call options on Tesla and Nvidia today. We are 3 for 3. If you want to join, now that's no guarantee, can't guarantee we can make money, not promising you can make money as well, but every single day I like to talk about the market, talk about trends that I'm seeing, trades I'm seeing. So if you want to join me, go to meetkevin.com and join the Stocks and Psych group, get lifetime access to it, and we've got a coupon expiring on Friday. If you got questions, send us an email at staff@meetkevin.com. And with that, thank you so much for this breakdown. And we're going to keep track of our win-loss ratio now on trades. So today we are 3 for 3. And so we'll keep that going from here. We'll keep adding. So let's go. Even though I'm a licensed financial advisor, real estate broker, and becoming a stockbroker, this video is neither personalized financial advice nor real estate advice for you. It is not tax, legal, or otherwise personalized advice tailored to you. This video provides generalized perspective, information, and commentary. Any third-party content I show should not be deemed endorsed by me. This video is not and shall never be deemed reasonably sufficient information for the purpose of evaluating a security or investment decision. Any links or promoted products are either paid affiliations or products or services which we may benefit from. I personally operate and actively manage ETF and hold long positions in various securities, potentially including those mentioned in this video. However, I have no relationship to any issuers other than HouseHack, nor am I presently acting as a market maker. Look at that right there, 48-46 on the average of the polls. So we'll see how this goes. It's certainly a tighter race now. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.